All right, welcome back to Bruce's Hearth and Home. Now, last time we were here, we made a delicious tomato sauce. Now, today, what goes great with that? Meatballs, spaghetti and meatballs. So, that's exactly what we're going to go ahead and make. What you'll need: about a pound of ground beef, an egg, some salt, breadcrumbs, oregano, Parmesan, and ricotta cheese. So, the first thing we're going to do is take the egg. Just go ahead, drop it right in there. And you want to beat the egg before it goes into the meat. You don't want to just put the egg right in the meat, because that's just weird. Get ahead. Give that a good scramble. Go ahead, drop that right in the meat. Now, if for dietary reasons you can't use an egg, you can use butter. I know, you're going to hear that a lot. I love butter. But it's true. Butter can be used as a substitute for egg because it's just as good of a binding agent. So, after that egg, sprinkle a little bit of salt in there. Some of the Parmesan cheese. The oregano. Some of the breadcrumbs. And yes, these are handmade breadcrumbs. I just took a loaf of French bread, let it sit for a day or two, and ground it up in a food processor. Now, this is the part that sets my meatballs apart from other meatballs. Ricotta cheese. You just want one or two good scoops of ricotta cheese in this meatball. Maybe 3. Like I said before, I don't measure, because it all comes down to your personal preferences and tastes. But now that it's all in here, just go ahead, get in there with your hands and really mix it together. You really want to get in there with your hands and mix it. It always comes out a lot better when you do it with your hands, because you can make sure it's a lot more evenly mixed than if you're mixing with like a spoon or something like that. Plus, who doesn't love to make a bit of a mess, right? So we're going to take this meatball. I'm kidding, of course. We're not going to take just one giant meatball. No, what we're going to do, we're going to take a sheet pan and line it with foil. Now, you don't have to worry about oiling the foil or anything like that, because we're not cooking them on here. What we're doing is we're just taking them and shaping the meatballs. So, just take a little bit of meat, run it around in your hands until you get a nice ball. It's about like a golf ball size, you know. You don't want them to be too big, because then they won't cook evenly. You're just going to go through and do that with all the meat that you have. Alright, so come back over here and you can see the tomato sauce is right here. It's making sure it's staying warm. Come over here, get this pan, get it nice and hot. Just give a light drizzle of olive oil around it. I do recommend using a non-stick pan, but even when you use a non-stick pan, you should still oil it up. It's going to help in the cooking. So go ahead, medium-high heat. Let's go ahead and get this pan hot. Once it's hot, I'm going to take those meatballs that we have just prepared. I'm going to go and place them around the pan. Hear that sizzle? I love that sizzle. Let's go ahead and do this. Go ahead, let them go ahead and cook. You don't want to really fully cook them. The main thing we're doing here is you just want to really saute them and get the outside nice, dark, and crispy. This is going to ensure that they retain their shape and pack in all that flavor. Just like I said, just make sure. So you can either do what I'm doing and, really flipping them. Sometimes some oil will spill, that's okay, as long as you don't start a fire. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can, use a spoon. And go ahead and flip them that way. That works well, or tongs. Doesn't matter, as long as you go ahead and make sure that all around to get that nice, crisp edge. That's what you want to see, and you can hear the sizzle on the meatballs. It is wonderful. You can hear my baby in the background coming in. It's time to go outside for a bit with the baby. That is my lovely fiance, Ariana, going out with the baby. I'll go ahead and link to her channel down in the comments. She does a lot of witchcraft related stuff, or at least she will be. And she does have an Etsy page where she does like wrapped crystal spell jars, things like that. Check it out. If you have any, requests or suggestions from her, she is more than happy to accommodate. So, you can see how they have this nice, like, golden brown color to them. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take them. They're not fully cooked, that is the thing. We're gonna go ahead and drop them in the sauce. Because what you did, this was just sauteing them so they crisped up on the outside, got a nice golden brown color to them. I'm going to go ahead and have them finish in the sauce. That's the main thing, they finish in the sauce. This not only adds a nice meat flavor to the sauce itself, but it also helps keep those meatballs moist and soft. Because no one wants a dry meatball that's just very tough and chewy. Alright, I mean, meatballs are very simple, as you can see. Basically, it's probably maybe going to be a 5-minute video. It's going to be a short video. Not all of them are going to be long on this channel. Some of them are going to be shorter videos. But that is okay. Because at the end of the day, these complement each other well, as you can see. The tomato sauce that we did now complements the meatballs. So like I said, you will see a lot of videos that complement each other. They may not all be the same length, but they will all complement each other very well. So now that we got these meatballs cooking in the sauce, you can raise the sauce's heat up to medium if you want. It's okay. I know I said turn it down to medium low to actually, cook the sauce, but now this is about cooking the meatballs, not the sauce. Move down here so it's easier for you to see. Again, the sauce doesn't have to be that beautiful rich red color like I said last week. It's a little orangish, pinkish, creamish. That's okay. Anything that's how you know it's fresh and like fresh. Yeah. You want to just let that sit about half an hour and they should be done. Honestly, the best thing you can do at this point, if you want to, if you were doing spaghetti meatballs, now is when you'd start putting the water in the pot to boil the spaghetti, because once that spaghetti is done, meatballs will be done. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Look at that. That is a beautiful plate of spaghetti and meatballs. Now the sauce is going to be a little liquidy if you use the real tomatoes like I did, unless you really thicken it up with a bit of like cornstarch or something the same. Now if you use the canned stuff, it's going to be a bit thicker. That's just the nature of using the can versus the actual, tomato. But that is our video. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, share this with your friends, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And leave in the comments what you want me to cook next. All I gotta say is, buon appetito!